Hey guys, so today's video we are going to be reacting to some stories on Reddit, this time entitled Parents, because I realised after I posted my Bridezilla video that Charlotte Dobry reacted to exactly the same story that I did from Reddit, so I couldn't even watch it because it was so weird to listen to for me. So I'm going to do entitled Parents this time because it's less likely to be duplicated if you guys watch. Okay, so the first one. My parents assume they're going to move in with me when they are old.
Don't give me that look.
I was on the phone with them this morning because they called after I texted them an update on my husband and my house hunting adventure. Also, they're already entitled to thinking they get a choice of what you buy because they want to make sure it's big enough for when you have to look after them. Got it. I am currently pregnant with baby number 3 and live safely 15-ish hours away from these people who birthed and raised me, while simultaneously mess me up mentally and emotionally. I was going to say, I guarantee there's a reason why it was 15 hours away. Why I stay in contact with them nowadays is becoming more and more of a mystery to me. But here we are. While looking at one of the houses I was describing online, my dad asked where would they stay in the future. Well, that's up to you. Stupidly thinking as a guest, I mentioned one of the extra rooms could be a multi-purpose room. If you have an air mattress and you're coming for a visit, there you go. This house has 4 bedrooms. Wow, fucking lucky. 5 if you count one of the rooms on the main floor. He then asked about permanently further in the future. I said, permanently? He said, when I retire or sometime after that, you know, stairs won't be your mum's and my friends around then. Me, you think you'll be living with us? Entitled dad, of course. Me, no. Entitled dad, we can help with the kids. Me, no. Yeah, if she's already had a fucking childhood has made her want to live 15 hours away from her fucking parents, she don't want you looking after her fucking kids. My mum, remember, we always talked about this when you were younger. Me, no. Dad, what, are you going to put us in a home? Me, you'll make friends. Dad, well, that's not nice of you. Me, I never said it was. The discussion ended after that. This is the thing, right? I've had this sort of conversation and I think about this for my family sometimes because I have like a really, really, really small family. Like I can literally count the living relatives I have on one hand. I have a few that live in Ireland that I'm obviously not close to. I haven't seen them in more than 20 years. But the rest of my family, because I don't have my dad's side, I can literally count on one hand. And I've always thought this, that I have my mum, my aunt, and my uncle. You know, I always consider, like, what's going to happen with them. Like, do I need to think about them and their needs? And the truth is, like, it's kind to think about that, but it is not your responsibility. They are adults as well. You may be an adult, but so are they. And they also have the responsibility to think about what's going to happen in the future for them. They can't just assume that you are going to look after them. I'm only one person, you know, I can't be expected to look after everybody. And I have my own job, I have my own place that I have to pay for at the end of the day. It's not my responsibility alone to look after every single one of them. I'll do what I can, but there is only so much you can do. They are adults at the end of the day, and if they're going to treat you like entitled fucking brats, no.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Commenter, we always talked about when you were younger, because a child between 3 to 14 is really going to understand the concept of a nursing home and sending your parents away. Good job on telling them no. We love boundaries. My mum has always brought up living with me when she's old, and I always said nope. So she's been pretty fucking clear about this. Even when I thought she was joking, I did entertain the idea at one point. If we lived on a bigger enough lot, though, they could have a trailer on, never in the same house. When I always kind of knew that wouldn't be a real possibility. It very nearly almost happened a year ago, but then my dad decided that God has called him to stay on our home estate in the most haunty of voices. Okay, thank you, Jesus. I will say that's something that I was considering, because at the moment I've been open about this, like I have a good salary, but I can't afford to buy a house alone. Like I won't be able to afford the mortgage, I know I won't, and I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, like struggling every single day, not being able to enjoy my life, because at the end of the day, you know, something could happen in like next year or 10 years, and this house that I'm struggling for every fucking day, I wouldn't have been able to live the life I have simply just to buy a fucking house. I have had to come to terms with the fact that I'll either only own a small flat, or I will have to wait until I inherit, or the thing I was considering was my mum, like I said, is going to look to move closer to where I live, and I was considering buying a place for both of us, like with whatever sold of her property and the money from mine, and merging them together. But I don't want to get into the long story of why I know that's not a good idea, because other families definitely going to come along and say that they deserve part of the property or some money from the property or something. But also, I'm 34 and I really, really, really don't want to, no offense to my mum, but I really don't want to be living with my mum. Like, I've had independence for a really long time. I don't want to go back to living with my mum down the fucking hall. I really don't want to do that. I like being able to decorate the way I want, to live the way I want, to have the freedom that I want. Having her live in a different house down the road is completely acceptable to me, but not in the same house. I can't do it. So I get it. Jesus took the wheel of your dad's life and pulled over. I love that. You'll make friends. Yeah, that was such a good line. I love how you didn't even waver in your answer. No hesitation, nothing. I don't think they were ready for that level of FAFO. What's FAFO stand for? I feel like such a fucking boomer when I don't know what things stand for.
How do you do, fellow kids?
F around and find out. I've never seen that before. Love it. No explanations. No way for them to insinuate or weasel. No is a complete sentence. Used it myself. She's under 10, so she eats free.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
I watch a lot of these sort of like Karen things, skits on TikTok. I don't understand that, like, you're still eating. You may get a discount for smaller portions, but you don't get free product just because you're under a certain age. I own a small restaurant, classic American foods, decent prices, kid friendly. One of our policies is that kids 10 and under can get anything off the menu for free. Oh, okay. That's very generous. The stuff on the kids menu is cheap, like a bowl of mac and cheese with some chicken nuggets isn't breaking my bank on food cost. Yeah, but I mean, you could still charge like a small amount. I mean, it is food cost at the end of the day. A hot dog and some fries aren't going to bankrupt me. It's very, very thoughtful and kind. Last night, I was sitting in the office watching some YouTube videos, actually, when I noticed a family that I know personally, their daughter, 12 female, is friends with my granddaughter, 13 female. When I see people I know, I have a decency to sort of take over the table. The server still gets the tip, but I give the table a lot of extra attention. That's nice of you. So I stop over and say hi, and I check their ticket in the computer out of curiosity. The dad got our 22-ounce porterhouse with a fully dressed potato, butter, cheese. I'm fucking hungry. Do you mind? I haven't eaten lunch, and it's already 2 o'clock. Sour cream, bacon, chili, ranch dressing, and crispy fried onions. The mum got our fried catfish and hush puppies. The daughter got our pulled pork cheeseburger and onion rings. No, daughter ordered off the main menu, not the kids menu. Anyway, they spent about 40 minutes eating, drinking, and genuinely being merry. Both myself and their server are keeping an eye on their drinks, making sure they are having a good time. I even gave them 5 free credits on the jukebox just to be nice. Jesus Christ, this person is so generous. And these people are about to take full advantage of their generosity. This was what makes people who are generous stop wanting to be kind and generous to people, because of shitty people that take advantage. I'm getting pissed just reading the generosity of this. Giving kids free meals that he doesn't need to do. I head back to the office to take a phone call, and while I'm back there, I notice a commotion on the cameras at that very same table. Before I can make it to the dining room, the server is in the kitchen heading towards my office. Apparently there was a mistake with their tab, and their daughter's meal should have been free. The server tried to explain this only applies to the items on the kids menu, and the girl had ordered off the main menu. The explanation fell on deaf ears. So I head out to solve the problem. I explained that not only did the girl order off the main menu, but I know for a fact that their daughter is not 10 or under, since my granddaughter had been to her 12th birthday party back in March. The mum tried to argue, but the dad put his hand up, apologised for his wife's behaviour, and passed me his card. Hey, I'm not being funny, but if you can afford a fucking 22-ounce steak, you can afford the fucking kids meal. Stop trying to get everything for free, Jesus Christ. Before they had even left my establishment, the mum already left a nasty and completely false Google review stating that we lie about our policies and kids don't really get free meals. She knows you, and she had the audacity to leave a fucking bad Google review just because you didn't give her something free. How are you not embarrassed? What is wrong with these people? What worries me as well is that the dad seems to be alright, don't get me wrong, but it always concerns me of these sort of fucking Karens and entitled parents. They teach these behaviours to their children, and then you get entitled bratty fucking children, and then entitled bratty adult. They're not doing their kids any favours teaching that this behaviour is acceptable. Well, you'll never have to serve them again, so that's a win. The dad and daughter are welcome to come back. Mum is banned. Yes. Have you gotten them to take down the review? It's slander, libel, and you should not allow it. So she can prove her statements are, well, lies. I've challenged it with Google, but from previous experience, it's going to take a week or more to take down. I think it's going to be pretty obvious that you're not like that, because all the other Google reviews I imagine you've got, you'll be fine. What a shit show. I truly hate these situations, OP. You're an honest and generous businessman. The server did their job. The 12-year-old simply went out to dinner with her parents. The father acted appropriately when informed of the rules, but this woman created a situation in public, acted like a jackass, embarrassed her family, and put her preteen child and you in the middle of a situation that no one should be in. People can really suck sometimes. I'm sorry. I don't know why the dad is getting a free pass. He knew very well that his daughter was not 10. Yeah, like, it might just be that he just didn't want to fight with his wife, because, I mean, imagine what he's going to have to deal with when he gets home. Mother believes she had a right to my documents. Insane parents, yeah. I'm not sure if this fits entitled parents or insane parents. Okay, for reasons I, 19, went no contact with my family and moved across the country to be with my partner, but after 3 months I ended up getting a summer job offer for something that paid really well, really close to the area they still live. I can only imagine why you already have no contact at 19. Between that and other family members pressuring me into contacting my mother, again for financial support on my end and to help mother heal. Why is it always the kid's responsibility to fucking look after the parents? It's meant to be the other way around. I don't talk about this very much, but the fact that I'm the youngest in my whole entire fucking family and I'm the one who constantly bails everyone else out really annoys me, because I'm like, I'm meant to be the one who gets to just be frivolous and live her life and have everyone fucking support her. And I'm the one who's financially stable. I'm the one who helps out when people don't have enough for funerals or don't have enough for this or don't have enough for that. I'm the one who everyone comes to for advice. Why is that happened to me? I wonder why I've had to become independent. Sorry, I was triggered. It turns out that she had hired a PI and thought she had an idea of exactly where I was living and with who. But she said she was relieved that I reached out and hoped I could meet up with her. And my father, when the fuck did you reach out? Oh, he ended up calling her, right? I missed that part when I got triggered. Hoped I could meet up with her and my father, 62, when I came over for my job. I already knew it was bullshit, because before I blocked her email, she sent messages threatening to take away every form of insurance, my college fund and my phone plan. Bought my own before she even threatened to take it away. She went so far as to give me deadlines where for each day that passed, she'd take away more. I ended up meeting her and my dad the day after I flew in. My mother was acting apologetic and even gave me and my partner a gift basket, while my father acted as if nothing had even happened. I thought everything was going fine and that my mother had gotten better, so I told my mum why I left was homophobia and transphobia from my dad, as well as incredibly academic pressure and both of them flipping moods on a dime. You didn't even need to say that. As soon as you said homophobia and transphobia, it all clicked into place. She took it well at the time and talked about how things have improved. Actions speak louder than words. We made a date for me to pick up my stuff, including my personal documents, passport, birth certificate, social security card, etc. But when the time came, I was bogged down with work to do with in processing for my job, work out what had gone with me attempting to finance a car to drive to work. I told her that I might be late. She suggested that I call her to get ideas on how to work some of it out, but she wasn't helpful. By the end of the call, it was 30 minutes past the time we were supposed to meet, and I asked if it's okay that I come and pick things up. She said that I couldn't. When I asked if another time later today worked, she said no, with no further explanation, and hung up after saying she'll tell me someday at some point where I could pick up my stuff. Trying to hold your stuff over a barrel because you were busy with other stuff, and you even told her you'd be likely busy. She did ask to have a check-in call at 9 p.m. that day, and I agreed to it. My partner, however, noticed that I was exhausted and stressed out about the idea of calling my mother. I'm not surprised. So she suggested that she update my mum and tell her I needed a little distance until I was less stressed, and I agreed. The day before my job started, I got an email stating that I would need to physically bring in the forms of identification I used for the online in processing, driver's license, and order a copy of my birth certificate for me. But I hadn't packed my birth certificate because I didn't think I'd need it. I tried texting and calling my mum to ask if she could come by and drop it off because I didn't have a car and Uber's expensive, or if we could meet in an in-between spot so it's cheaper. I didn't get a reply for a while until after an hour I received an insane email from her. Christ. It was about 10 paragraphs long and she sounded insane. She said the homophobic and transphobic comments from my dad weren't real. Yeah, so she was just making excuses at the start. I saw that coming. And that he is an ally even if he misgenders me constantly and uses the wrong name. That's not an ally in any shape or form. I feel like this is going to get worse before it gets better.
I don't like where this is going.
Additionally, she said that if I did not go to college in this state, she would convert all $50,000 of my college fund into fund money for her and my dad. Shortly after, I got a text saying that she would do me a favour and give me the spare birth certificate she had, and that she didn't have to give me anything because my documents belonged to her. At that point, I would have just ordered a new one. I wouldn't have wanted to deal with her. You clearly went no contact for a reason. I would have ordered a copy of my birth certificate from whatever department. Entitled people like this, do not rely on them for anything, because the second you need something, they will hold it over a barrel. I've had to learn that the hard way. She set a place, cut-off time where she would leave, but regardless of if I walked or took an Uber there, I would have arrived way past the cut-off. Instead, I went directly to the police and asked them to get all of the documents from her for me, since she was now refusing to give me anything but that spare birth certificate. The officer I talked to sent an officer to my mother and called her on the phone to let her know police were coming to pick it up. The one calling almost got into an argument with my mother because my mother kept insisting that my passport and other stuff all belonged to her, and I had no claim to it.
That's fucking confusing.
It's not yours. When the other officer arrived to pick things up, she had the gall to lie and say she had no idea where anything else was because my room was a mess. I quickly told the officers that that was bullshit because she's never let me have access to them in the past, and I had no idea where they were at any point. I eventually managed to get her to hand over everything. Oh my god. The fact that you had to get police involved just to get documentation back is psychotic. It's clear narcissistic parental control. They sound horrible. It doesn't sound like you have a reason to talk to them again. Yet literally, do not give them a reason. Only reason I had to get my stuff back and to calm down certain family members who have now blacklisted me. Yeah, because she's probably spun something that you're a terrible fucking child for wanting your documents back, even though she's clearly a narcissist. You don't have to talk to your mother. And I'm glad that you got your papers back because she's not entitled to them. Those are your documents. And anybody who does not agree with what you did, they can always kiss your ass in Macy's window during the Thanksgiving Day parade. Last one. We're going to do a short one. Entitled dad wanted access to school after hours. Why am I getting Predator vibes? I work as a supply school custodian, so I fill in where needed. Some evenings at some schools, different groups come in the evenings and I have to let them in. I was at school that had a basketball group. I'm waiting at the door. A man comes up to it with his toddler children and I ask, "Are you here for basketball?" He replied, "No, my daughter really needs to use the washroom. Can we come in?" I told him, "No, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. Only people who are permitted to be here after hours are allowed in the building." He freaked out at me, saying, "This is a Catholic school." That's not a flex. You can't turn people away who need into the building. You are not entitled to be in that building. Like, people's entitlement is nuts. You can't turn people away who need into the building, so you are really going to tell a 3-year-old little girl she can't come inside to go pee. You can even follow us to the washroom and stand outside of it. I said to him, "I'm really sorry, but I can't do that. I'm just following school board policy, because if I don't, I could lose my job." He then said, "Wow, you are unbelievable and cruel. I'm going to report this." He then stormed off with his children and took his daughter behind a tree in the parking lot. I got the death stare from him as I was letting in the basketball group. I did let my supervisor know about the incident and was told I 100% did the right thing, not letting them into school. Yeah, he doesn't know who you are. Edit. The problem if I had let him in and followed them is then I'm not at the door to let the group in on time, and they'll be complaining that they didn't get let in at their designated time. The school is in the middle of a subdivision, so they were likely on a walk so they could have just as easily gone home. I live in Ontario, so the majority of elementary schools in Ontario have key fobs for the staff to enter the building. So even if a situation like this happened during the day, he wouldn't be able to enter the building without getting buzzed in at the main entrance. And even then, they wouldn't let a grown man and his toddler children come in and use a washroom with students in the building. Honestly, schools aren't public places for anybody off the street to come inside and do as they please during school hours or after school hours. When groups do come in after school hours, they are restricted to the area that they are assigned to. So the doors to the rest of the school are locked and they can only use the gym and the change rooms. Thing is, if something had happened to his daughter, you know, school shootings are a thing in America. There was even, like, this week I saw a video of a guy follow a girl into a bathroom and he killed her and he went backwards and forwards. He left and he got something to put her in, and then he got, what's it, a garbage can or something? I can't remember. Then he went into the bathroom, put her in the garbage can, dragged it out to like the woods or something, dumped her body, dumped his clothes, changed his shoes. Like, he got changed like 3 times or something. There's a security reason. Anything can happen. If they just let whoever, "Oh, I'm here with my child, you can just let me," No.
No!
There's a reason that they have to think of protecting the children that are in there, that are authorised to be in there. Like, you could have just taken your kid to a shop or like a cafe or, you know, somewhere that does have a more public bathroom that you can use, that's more accessible than a school with fucking children in it. Because also, we don't know that you're not a creep. You could be putting cameras around in the children's bathrooms, so we don't know. Entitled people are everywhere. I worked in a public school elementary, and we had a father come in on a Friday night after school to help himself to the copiers. We would not have known, except that he jammed up both copiers and left his material in the machine. He used thousands of people's of paper for his business. Evidently, he thought since he paid taxes, the copiers were available for him to use. What's wrong with people? Do you know how many times I used to have to fucking fix printers as well at work? It feels like sometimes I'm either an IT member of staff or like I work for printer companies because I was the only person in the building that knew how to fucking unjam these things and get all the errors cleared and stuff. Otherwise they would phone people and it would take hours to get things fixed just because people couldn't be bothered to have the patience to deal with it. People like this don't care if you lose your job. Everything's about them and you are just an NPC in his life. This is why you don't go out of your way sometimes for people like this. Oddly, when my kids were learning to use a toilet as toddlers, I knew where all the clean and accessible toilets were, and none of them were my school, open hours or not. They were all businesses. Please complain to my boss so that they know I strictly follow policy when doing my job. That'll teach me. Oh, that was funny. Let me know if there's any specific Reddit threads you want me to do. We could go back to some more Karens or Bridezillas. I don't know, some other entitled sort of things. They're always quite fun. It's sad that people have to go through this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. I try to post about once a week, but as I mentioned in my last video, things can get a little bit scattered depending on how I am mentally, so I appreciate your patience. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!